guys, welcome back to the Tipsy Ghosts. We are your tipsy hosts, Sarah, and Lindsey.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Yo.
We are drinking some warm wine.
When you say it like that, it sounds gross. It's a winter red from Cooper's Hawk, and it's a spiced wine.
It is.
Served warm.
You serve it warm like that. Nice cider.
It tastes like a cider.
It does. I've never heard of it. I saw her heating it up on the stove, and I was like, what are you doing to the wine?
It tastes like a grown-up version of the Red's apple ale. Is that an ale? You know what I'm trying to say. Red's.
I can see that.
Maybe it's just I taste like an apple cinnamon in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely do.
The bottom note is
just wafted all up to you. What are you smelling?
Hints of cinnamon and nutmeg.
I can pull up the tasting notes if you'd like.
It's actually very good. I was like, I don't know if I want warm wine, but it's very good.
Delightful.
It warms your soul.
It does.
It
We all
does.
need that a little bit right now.
Yeah, people are dicks.
Okay. You want to
Tell us.
elaborate on that?
I think we can try and stay neutral here. I just want to point out that people are dicks.
It's true, though.
There's some hot topics going on, and I'm just concerned with how things are being handled and construed.
True that.
And that is
Mic
where
drop.
we're going to leave that conversation.
We
Okay.
could go on and on and on.
I could make an entire podcast out of that.
Could you make me a PowerPoint presentation?
Oh,
If you'd like.
yes. My phone is full of memes.
Yes.
So,
2020 has really been the year of memes.
what else do people have to do?
Exactly.
I'm here for
It's
it.
been the year of TikTok and the year of memes.
I'm here for both. I like those things.
Yes, I like both of those things.
If I was only clever enough to make memes.
I know.
I mean, I like other people's memes, but...
Right. I like other people's, but I'm like, that's clever. I should have thought of that.
I mean, same thing with TikToks.
Yes.
Not the most original.
No.
But I did like our sound challenge. I thought we were fairly original there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've seen a lot of people doing it, actually.
Even on TV.
Yes, we saw it on TV.
Yeah, it was totally us that started it. So you're
Uh-huh.
welcome, Jimmy
Uh-huh.
Fallon and Kristen Wiig.
You're welcome.
You can
Just
have
kidding.
this one. It's okay.
We'll let you guys slide. And also, you nailed it. So fine. It's fine. You're better than us.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. Sorry, words are not my forte. Why did I start a podcast?
Why did you start a podcast?
When words are not my forte.
Really? Are they any of ours?
No.
No, I think it's just, it takes all three of our brains to form just a semi-sentence.
Semi-sentence.
Semi.
You know, if you say the word semi, what she's gonna do.
You know I did that on purpose.
I
right?
know.
Boydston made this delicious cherry treat tonight.
I made boozy cherries, so I choked.
Choked on the boozy cherries.
I choked the chicken. No.
Oh.
Is that a saying I don't want to know about?
You don't know that
You don't
one?
know what
No,
for
I don't.
Lindsey.
I don't want
You
to
know, like you grab a chicken neck?
Yes.
What does this look like?
Oh, it's very sad.
You're choking a chicken.
You're talking about killing a chicken.
No.
No, not to death.
just till he throws up. It's fine.
Just for funsies. You don't want to kill it. Just gently choke it.
Well, this took a turn. So the boozy cherries, you
I have no comment.
soak. Soak is where I was going. You soak the cherries in rum is what I chose. You can do vodka, but I knew that they wouldn't drink it I knew they wouldn't eat it if it was vodka.
What?
Why
You-
not?
I would.
I like vodka. Why are you giving me the disapproving look?
Whenever I make strong drinks, you're like, no, I can't. I'm not like you guys. I
I
can't
was going
drink
to say,
like
who's
you.
not? I
First
can
off,
do this.
tequila is, of any of them, the one that I cannot do. I like vodka.
I made you a strong vodka drink once, and you complained about it. So anyway, that's why I went with the rum. I'll do vodka next time.
They were delicious.
Challenge
I liked the
accepted.
rum.
And so then
Yeah, they were great.
I dipped them in chocolate and put some sprinkles on it.
It's a dessert. I've had 5 already.
I've had at least 5.
They were very, very good. I didn't
So
keep track of
good.
how many I had. I didn't know this was a game.
So this is pre-Christmas, really. And so we're drinking holiday drinks.
Holiday
also
Bud
have-
Light seltzer.
We also, have the holiday seltzer that we talked about in the last episode, maybe. Can't remember when it was.
Let the record show that when I said it and I said cranberry, she was like, no, it's apple. Cranberry is one of the flavors.
Okay. Let the record show that there are both apple and...
There is apple and cranberry, so we both won.
Right, but I think I was specifically talking about the apple one with the fireball in it. So the records have shown.
Boydston, can you please strike that from the record?
There is no record.
Record.
On
the record shows.
No, there's no record. On the record, there is no record.
What do you do with all of the records we give you?
I also got to wear my holiday
your pussy
sweatshirt.
shirt?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Must you? Must you?
One, two.
got
I don't know
pussies
how
on
many
her shirt.
cats I have on here.
She's got Santa cats.
Santa cats, and it lights up, and I've had it for a long time.
I walked in, she goes, look at my shirt and my lips. She had lips.
So once a year, I get to wear red lips and light up cat sweatshirt. Kill me.
I love it. I just wish I had worn my Christmas sweater.
I mean,
And think about it.
I enjoy the shirt you
Hello.
have on.
Thank you.
I have my other one in the car in case I got hot. In this
we
sweatshirt.
know that happens.
Yes, it does. I planned ahead. I brought my shirt that Boydston got for me. Anyhow, which, by the way, she got us these amazing cups, and they're beautiful, and I love it.
Yes.
And everywhere I go, I get compliments on it.
Aww.
Oh, you've taken it out?
Yeah, wasn't
That's
that supposed
exciting.
to?
No, I just haven't yet. So
No,
No.
it must remain at home at all
I
times.
take it to work, and
Oh,
yeah, I use it there.
love it.
Yeah, my kid saw it, and she was like, I want one. And I was like, we're going to sell them soon. She goes, but I want one. I'm like, I'm
Oh my
not
gosh.
giving it to you. Back off. It's got my name on it.
Beckett wants one too, and he's all hyped up right now because he thinks he's going to be first in line for merch.
He's
like, Am I going to get early access? Early access to your merch? Well, like how early? He wants to know.
Why,
And I'm
yes,
like,
you are.
Tell him he's our number one VIP.
I told him, I was like, I don't know, man. It's going to take a little while to like order some stuff. Well, like how early? Like how long do you think? I don't know. What do you want? I could just order you one thing.
He's going to be like our biggest promoter.
Oh, he is funny. He wants to wear our masks and stuff to work, or not to work,
To
to
work.
school. To school, which I told him the ones that we have right now have wine glasses on them, so probably not to elementary school, but
I would agree with that.
the TTG ones, if we ever get some, those would be a great one for him to use.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
It's a good idea.
What are we talking about tonight?
We're going to talk about the time we went to a haunted location.
On a haunted investigation?
Haunted investigation.
I love
An
it.
investigation, yes. I was trying to think of something more clever to say. Nothing was coming
I think
to my
that's
brain.
what we've always come back
Yep.
to. We
It's a haunted-
can't decide.
Yeah. We went on a ghost hunt, y'all.
We did.
Going on a ghost hunt. You heard that kid song?
I mean, yeah.
Going on a bear hunt? Yeah,
Yes.
we're going on a ghost hunt. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where my mind went. Okay.
I'm there with you. I just
Continue.
wasn't there with you.
So we went to Blue Springs, Missouri, which
Yeah.
is south of Kansas City proper, but pretty much one of the suburbs in Kansas City. It's called the Dillingham Lewis House.
Sure is.
It is. And this was like a last minute investigation, wasn't it?
Yeah. Came across my Facebook feed. So,
I think Sarah texted us on a Thursday and we went on a Saturday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sometime very quickly after.
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. It was very soon.
Facebook knows me now. They're like, would you like to go on a ghost hunt? I'm like,
Yes,
you
yes.
fucking know it.
Is that even a question?
Yes, please, Facebook. And
Sign me up next time without asking, please.
we had never really heard of this place. I hadn't, at least.
I hadn't either.
I had heard of it just by like browsing different sites for looking for places to go, but
Yeah.
it was never at the top of the list.
Yeah.
But we went there.
We sure did.
And you got some history for us, right?
Yeah.
I think she does.
All right, the Dillingham Lewis House. Morgan Dillingham was born in 1883.
1983.
That's what it says on my paper, but that's not
He's my
right.
age.
This is a young haunted house.
Perfect.
So 1883, and when he was old enough, he joined the Confederate military at the start of the Civil War. He fought in several battles and ended up being badly wounded, forcing him to return home. But funny story, when he got there, his family home was occupied by another family.
Whoa.
He's like, who are you people? And apparently,
It's awkward.
Did they forget to tell him that they moved?
Sorry,
I don't know,
son.
maybe the Pony Express wasn't fast enough. I don't know.
They didn't get their forwarding address down right.
Yeah. But
just a bummer all
it's
around.
nuts because, like, he just embraced it and he married one of the daughters.
Oh, so like he just moved in and they let him?
It's like, I swear I used to live here. This is my room.
It could have been anybody.
Those are my notches on the door for my height.
But can I come inside and sleep in my own bed?
And then
Just
sleep
trust
with
me.
your daughter,
Yeah.
please.
Cool. Sounds legit.
People were a lot nicer back then in the 1800s. Somebody showed up on my doorstep like, this is my home. Can I come in? I'd be like,
Get the fuck out of here, crazy.
You can fuck right off.
let me just go grab my phone. First off, we wouldn't answer the door anyways, right?
No.
Unexpected doorbell, no.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not. Okay. Anyhow, so he married her.
He fell in love and married one of the daughters in the family, and her name was Mevlina. And
I
I don't
love it.
know for sure, but I feel like her dad's name was probably Melvin.
I was going to say, that's the female version of Melvin.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you're right.
My grandpa's name is Melvin.
You could have been Melvina.
Should have been missed opportunity, Mom.
So Morgan and Mevlina built the Dillingham House and went into business.
I can't take that name seriously.
Morgan or Mevlina?
Mevlina.
Well, that's very offensive.
You better stop.
Okay, continue.
I don't feel like you've recovered yet.
I haven't, but
She's
it's okay.
just thinking about how she could have been Melvina, and she's upset.
That's it. That's it.
Well, that was the last time I say her name, so it's fine.
Okay, good.
Melvina's husband, Morgan, became a bank president.
You lied.
I did it on purpose. No, Morgan became a bank president, and he also opened a general store, which ended up being very successful for decades to follow.
Neat.
Until he died in 1925 at Research Hospital.
Oh, hey.
Threw that in for a fun fact. Their son David was born in 1873, and he married, and they built a home on the property adjacent to the Dillingham House. And that house now is a museum, and it houses the local historical society.
Huh. Very cool. Yay, history.
History. So, David was also a businessman like his dad, Melvina's husband, Morgan.
Can you stop?
No. And he owned and operated a store and a gas station in the early 20th century. But in 1955, he was shot and killed during a botched robbery at a store. So
Jeez.
that's sad.
That's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So 3 years after Morgan passed, we're back to Morgan here, their home was sold to Nora Lewis. And she's kind of an eccentric. She was a world traveler, known for her lavish parties. It's said that she had a medical degree and she practiced medicine whenever she traveled.
Oh.
She was also famous for her claim to have met every American president from Lincoln to Roosevelt.
Wise. I'm just gonna.
I thought you said
feel
wise.
Like, I feel like that's impossible, but okay.
I don't know the
believe her.
dates. Exactly. So.
I believe you, Nora. Wow, you're a dick.
Okay, sorry.
I thought you said wise. Like, that was really wise. And I was like, yeah,
She's so wise.
it's really cool.
So she's also famous for a hatchet swinging raid on a local saloon.
Hold up.
Wait, rewind.
Hold up.
I can repeat the sentence if you want.
Yes,
no, I
please.
just need to process it.
Hatchet swinging.
Raid on a local saloon.
So she was in on it. She was swinging the hatchet.
Swinging the hatchet.
Okay.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Nora the hatchet swinger. Got it.
But she also knew every American president from Lincoln to Roosevelt.
I mean, she sounds like a real badass. And she's a traveling doctor.
Yeah.
Got it.
in a hatchet swinger. But
Gotta be strong.
it was fine. She was tame enough. She lived there until her own death in
Tame enough?
1948. The next owner, Arthur Cummins, died in the house under mysterious circumstances. Other people ended up dying in the house too, but there really aren't details on if they... Okay, so other people died while they lived in the house, but it's
Right.
not sure if they died in the house or not.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So who knows? It's actually kind of difficult to find history on this place.
Yeah.
But luckily, Lindsey picked us up a pamphlet while we were there.
You're welcome. I was with it a little bit there.
So that's where some of this information comes from.
You're welcome.
So the Dillingham Lewis House was purchased by the Historical Society of Blue Springs in 1977 for them to use it as their headquarters. And next door to the house is the Chicago Alton Hotel.
Oh, I didn't know that was the name of it.
Yeah, that's what it says on the front of it.
On my pamphlet?
And on the house.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't see it on the house. But yeah.
It was also dark.
But that's true.
Okay. It was built in 1878 in anticipation of the railroad coming through town, and they wanted that to be the first business in the new downtown Blue Springs. High hopes.
Makes sense.
The hotel had 6 guest rooms upstairs that were rented for 75 cents a night. Meals were 25 cents.
Can we go back to that? 75 cents a night.
Your paycheck every month would be like $1.35. So
why do you got to bring inflation into this and just let me dream?
Just a realist, okay?
Also, do you remember those rooms?
Yes.
Do you really want to stay there?
No,
So,
I call the room with the mannequins.
The hotel passed hands several times until the 1930s when its new owners converted the upstairs guest rooms into 2 apartments, making it a private residence. In 1978, it was donated to the Blue Springs Historical Society, and that's kind of where we left it. The house is filled with period pieces from the early 1900s. They're not original to the home, but they're from the same time. But there's also a reputation for the ghosts there. So over the last few decades, guests and staff have reported encounters. They have seen apparitions of a man who looks like Morgan Dillingham. Footsteps have been heard, closet doors open and close by themselves, and people have also been touched. A top hat on display in one of the rooms has been known to move to other rooms when the house is empty.
Oh, fun.
And a lady has been reported standing in the windows, and a hooded figure has been seen in the basement.
Ooh.
Like a Dementor. Hooded.
Yeah. It was totally wispy, and they were flying.
I just think of Prison Mike.
The worst part about prisons are the Dementors. Classic. Oh.
Anyways, so there's a Dementor in the basement.
There's a
That's what I'm
Dementor in the
hearing.
basement.
They're pretty scary.
They're
Just gonna say.
terrifying.
So, I mean, that would be scary. Well, cool.
So we went there.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Where do you want to start out?
Let's
Yeah.
start it.
Basement?
No.
No. We gotta warm up to the
I
basement.
need to warm up to that. Let's start in the Chicago Alton Hotel.
Okay.
Okay, so
Upstairs?
it's pretty much where we were most of the time.
Yeah. So just know, like, when we went, they're kind of in the process of revamping it and bringing it back to its prime time.
Right.
So everything's stripped down to like bare wood. There's hardly anything. And the most terrifying thing in that place is the stairs.
Yep.
They came with a warning of only one person can be on the steps at a time. Like, you have to
Right.
wait for the person to get all the way up or all the way down before you can get on. I, of course, was like, my God, how embarrassing would it be for me to just get on these and fall through?
I was thinking more I might topple down them. Like,
Yeah, they're very steep.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
But-
thinking I would fall.
No, whenever they came with that warning, I was like, oh God, this thing has a weight limit. I'm not going to make it.
And there's like,
They're just very steep, and it is. It's that whole place is in rough shape.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
there's like holes in, like on the first floor, there's like holes in the ceiling. Like,
Let's start there. First floor.
Yeah.
yeah, first floor. So there's
Okay.
holes in the ceiling, and like there's, I mean, like you said, it's bare bones.
Like some of the places were down to the studs, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's not really furniture in there or anything like that. So the downstairs was probably the last place we went.
It is.
Yeah.
We were trying to find someplace alone because it was a group investigation,
Yeah.
a group haunted investigation.
We struggled a little bit on this one, guys.
There was a card table set up.
There was, and
Down
so we got our chaperone to go with us over to this place.
It was just us over there for a
It
little while.
was just us. I set up the night vision. We
Yeah.
did some EVPs and set up
Spirit box.
flashlights.
Yeah.
EMF. Did the spirit box.
Yeah, we sure did. And we sat at that card table for a while, and we actually got quite a bit of flashlight responses there.
We did.
Some of them I feel like were intelligent. We'd ask for a response and they'd turn on. So I would say that's probably one of our more active sessions that night. Like you mentioned, it was the last part of the night, so we were pretty tired by the end of it and kind of goofy, per usual.
Per usual.
But the recordings were kind of funny. Let me.
They were.
Okay. So, yeah, like I mentioned, we had the flashlight responses quite a bit. And while we had the spirit box going, it seemed like the same female voice kept trying to come through. I couldn't really understand what they were saying. I don't think any of us really could. I know Boydston was up kind of walking around a few times. But the name Ethan came through and Demon came through multiple times.
Yeah, I seem to remember kind of a negative feeling.
Yeah, and the weird part about it was we both said, because I think you were walking around during one of them, and I think we both said, did that just say demon? And then a few seconds later, you hear a kid laughing on there, and it was like, ugh. It was kind of icky
we don't
feeling.
like that.
So
We do not.
like, please don't do that. We don't want children, demons. At some point, Lindsey said she could hear somebody or something walking around upstairs. I couldn't hear it on the recording, but that's what she said. And then that was my unintentional. That's what she said. Joke.
That's what she said. Literally, that is what.
Literally, though.
Literally, that's what I said.
There may be something that I heard during the end of the recording. Maybe like a dog barking. It could have legitimately been a dog barking.
Right.
And I think we even said, was that a dog bark? But we weren't sure. But it did sound kind of bizarre, and we heard it in real time. And it was about 1 a.m. So we hadn't really heard the dog barking all night. And that was just a random couple barks. Another point, we heard some tapping, and then the temperature changed. So we must have had what was the device that we had there? That had the...
One of our EMF detectors
right.
has a temperature on it as well.
Okay, that's where we got it then. Okay, and then towards the end of that whole session, Lindsey says that she's starting to feel cold, which Lindsey doesn't really feel much during these sessions. So that's
really
why I put it
doesn't.
down, because she made it a point to say she felt like the temperature had dropped, and then the flashlights started going off again after that. And then she heard Lindsey hear somebody say, "Stop."
What?
Wow,
I
Lindsey.
don't remember this at all. Also, end of the night. So I do remember it getting colder because I remember the temperature dropping.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling colder, which this is in November that we went,
Here
right?
we go.
Hold on. This is
Yeah.
in November when we went.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
like, I'm just saying it's cold. Anyways, it's 1 a.m. and this place obviously doesn't have heat in.
No.
I don't remember saying stop or hearing saying stop.
Listen,
Stop.
I'm just saying
No,
what I
I
heard
believe
from
you.
the recording.
I believe you. I'm trying to remember what that was about. But
I like recording Lindsey better than real Lindsey.
Jerk.
Lindsey was actually
even my
feeling
vlog,
it.
even my vlog, Lindsay.
The
No.
vlogs are interesting.
There's one part of the night where I didn't like either of you, and we'll get to that.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
I
I remember
remember.
that night.
Mhm.
So let's go upstairs.
Yeah.
So upstairs, the first time we went up there, it was when we were with a group. It was a small group.
Mm-hmm.
We sat in one room and kind of did, the circle of trust thing, which we've talked about many times. It's where you each ask the same question
Mhm.
and do an EVP session.
Yes.
I hate the circle of trust.
I do too.
We're not fans of it. And
I think
should we talk about the group?
Yeah, let's just give them like
Yeah.
a little preview.
There were some hardcores.
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the hardcores was refusing to wear her mask during the
Right.
circle of trust, and she was literally sitting across from me, and I was so uncomfortable and anxious. And finally she went to the other room. There was another room,
They needed a volunteer for someone to go be by themselves, and she's like, "Oh, pick me, pick me."
and I was like, yes, go. You don't have to wear your mask in the room by yourself.
Right.
So she went in there, and we did the circle of trust and went around and asked questions. And so this used to be like a hotel. So we were making jokes about, like, you want to have a shot of whiskey with me? You want to,
Yes.
like, there's a girl in the room over there if you want to go have some fun with her.
Right.
What they used hotels for back in the
Sure,
days.
sure.
And she
probably
was,
still,
yeah,
honestly.
probably still, yeah.
Okay.
She was in the room that had, so this place had mannequins everywhere. So she was in a room with 2 creepy mannequins.
Yeah.
Which I don't like mannequins. They're just creepy. They're
They
so
are
creepy. I'm
creepy.
like, what's the point of having this naked mannequin staring at me? Okay, so we did the circle of trust. And first off, it started out with, I believe it was Sarah making a reference about WAP.
Oh, weird. That doesn't sound like me at all.
Because they're talking about how there used to be whores in the place. So somebody, not Sarah, said, there's some whores in the house. And Sarah goes, do you know of WAP?
Oh my god. How do I have friends? I don't know.
So, like I said, this other girl, she went into the other room. At one point, she said that she heard footsteps. I didn't catch anything on our recorder. During the EVP, so I'm probably sitting 2 people away from the leader who has her own recorder. And she would stop it and play it back so we could listen. And when she was playing it back at one point, she heard Gretchen on her recorder. I, like I said, was sitting 2 people away and I got nothing on ours while listening to it in real time. I can hear it, like, when she's playing it back. I can hear it when she's playing it back. But, like, when I'm listening to it without her playing it back, like, I can't hear anything.
On our recording.
Yeah, so it's weird. At one point, I think I heard a moan that came through. there was one of the questions that we asked was, "Are you cheating?"
Just like that, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot.
We were talking about, like playing poker and things like that. So we were trying to come up with phrases. So one of the people said, "Are you cheating?" So we went around and said, "Are you cheating? Are you cheating?" And it gets to Boydston and she goes, "Are you cheating?"
She couldn't deal.
No, I can't.
Her and her grandma could not. And then Sarah was right after her. And Sarah came out with the mom voice and went, "Are you cheating?"
We had to ruin the vibe.
They really, both of them did.
Are you cheating? Are you cheating?
Are you cheating?
Are you cheating?
Are you cheating?
Stop. I knew you would do that.
Are you cheating? That was my mom voice. I'm sorry.
Are you cheating?
Shortly around then, there was also like, it sounds almost like a child laugh or like a squeak or something. It's the very beginning of like a laugh. Not sure what that was. Disclaimer, there was no children with us.
Right.
At one point, Boydston said something that was funny, and she said it louder than I think she meant to, and so Sarah started laughing. And this
Started quiet laughing.
This is when we discovered what, Sarah?
So I started laughing, and apparently I shake a lot when I'm laughing. I was leaning backwards against a loose board, and as I'm laughing, you can just hear do 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 do.
So everyone's like, "What is that noise?"
Yes, because I'm not making any noise with my mouth. I'm just
quietly shaking the wall, but nobody knows that. So they're all like, "What's that noise? Did you hear that banging?" Which makes her laugh harder.
It still does. They were so excited. I'm like, I'm sorry.
So finally we figured out, I think Boydston figured out that it was you, and says, "That is terrifying. Lean forward."
I think I pushed her down. I was pushed her away.
She hated me so much this night.
It's just not in my vocabulary. So is she gonna come back? No, she's just there. That's her spot.
She's
Okay. That is terrifying. Lean forward.
That was pretty much it. Like I said, after that, we all just kind of lost it. Sarah was a hot mess. There's two other girls who came together who were in the group,
laughing.
and they were dying laughing at her. And they were also cracking up, I think, at the other girl in the other room.
It was too much. We'd all reached our max limit.
Well, and we were saying, do you want a glass of whiskey? Do you want a glass of whiskey? Everybody was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Circle dress. And it gets to one girl, and she goes, "You want a shot of scotch?" I'm like, what?
Girl, did you not hear the rules?
I think it was two, not old, but older, older people at the very end of our circle of trust. It was, I feel like a man and wife.
Yeah.
And I guess
did what they
weren't,
wanted.
they weren't listening. So they picked their drink of choice.
Fuck those rules.
I will say, after she said, "Do you want a shot of scotch?" that we heard that child's laughter or something like that. So it was
Oh, there you go.
shortly after that.
Strong work.
So that was the upstairs room. I don't know if we went there on our own.
We didn't go upstairs on our own.
No.
But we did get a few possible orbs or anomalies.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because the place is it's in construction, so I couldn't tell if it could be dust. But outside, we took a picture outside of the actual place, and it's this giant orange orb or ball of light.
Ooh.
And usually, it's just this light blue or white color, but it's giant orange.
I do remember that.
Huh. Weird. Yeah, we had the night vision set up downstairs while we were at the card table.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear anything on it during the recording, but yeah, there may have been some cool orbs. It's really hard to tell.
I took some pictures, but yeah, I'm not the best at looking at the pictures after I take them, so.
Yeah. And the hotel was pretty small, really.
It is. Yeah, it's very divided up. Just
Yes.
how Garnett House is.
Right, that's what I was going to say. And upstairs there was a bunch of bedrooms up there.
Yes.
Well, I think they've even made them into those where it looks like what used to be the apartments now.
Uh-huh.
But I think they had plenty of rooms up there. So yeah, it was tight.
So back to the house.
Back to the house.
To the second floor?
Yeah, let's go to the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So the house
There's what, 3 bedrooms up there?
There's a children's room, and then there's like the master room.
Mm-hmm. And then the room
Like
where
a
they have the
dressing
mannequins.
room.
Yeah.
Yes, a dressing room with the mannequins that had 4 or 5 mannequins in there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And this is the dressing room's where people report seeing the lady in the window.
Yes. And then there's a bathroom as well. So yes, the mannequin room is where they report seeing a woman in the window, so it faces the front of the house.
Is there an echo in here?
Oh my God, you guys must be on the same
So
page.
my debunking brain was like, maybe they're just seeing one of the 4 or 5 mannequins that are stuffed into this room.
I mean, it could be. I don't know if the mannequins were there during the time when they saw them.
Also,
so
they reported that like the thing moved, like she
Oh,
was
fuck
there,
that.
and then she.
fuck
Be a
that.
trick of the eyes, but continue. They love me so much. So we went to that room.
We spent some time there. I laid on the
anything?
floor, per usual.
Yeah.
I will say, I think I know I've said this before, it's harder for me to stay awake in these smaller places because you spend a lot more time in one spot, especially if we're not getting like tons of feedback and tons of responses to things. And I got onto the floor and laid down.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we had a couple flashlight responses in there, but nothing crazy.
just barely.
Yeah. I think they had one of those grid lights set up in there at some
They did
point
initially, which I wish they would have left up
Yeah.
because that's one thing that we don't have that I am interested in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I took a selfie with the mannequin.
You did.
that mannequin has a similar haircut to you when you were little.
Yes,
bowl
except
cut.
it's supposed to be a boy in the mannequin.
And then one lady, like right after you did it, one lady walked in. She's like, "Oh, I don't like that mannequin."
Yes, she came in and, like I said, there was 4 or 5 in there, and he was dressed like all in brown. And she goes, "I don't like that one in the corner in the brown. I'm not getting good vibes from him." I'm like, "I just took a selfie with him. We're cool."
I thought he had like a fur jacket on.
Yeah, it was like a brown
Okay.
fur jacket. I posted it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, so that was an interesting room for sure, but
Yes.
I don't think we got tons of evidence there.
We didn't. We went to the children's room after that.
Yeah. That place was pretty cool. Actually, I liked the children's room. I know we didn't get tons of responses there either, but
Yeah.
We got some spirit box and some flashlight responses.
Yeah.
Spirit box responses, we got a Karen that came through.
Oh, Karen.
That was exactly our response on the recording. We're like, Karen.
Karen.
Excited? Question, which we were asking lots of questions of
yeah.
it. It said birthday, and this was like the week or 2 before your
Oh,
birthday.
Yeah.
And then it said, like when we were getting ready to leave, it said government disaster.
Oh, gosh, if that isn't the truth.
And again, this was like leading up to, this was shortly after election week. I feel like,
It
yes.
must have been.
And so government disaster. Yes, it was the Saturday they announced the president, like when we had gone that whole week without knowing.
Nice.
And so we were like, yes.
These are valid responses. Yes.
Yes, spirit bugs. At one point, I said that I felt, so I was holding my phone in my hand, and I felt the recorder, which was on my leg, vibrating on my leg. I felt something vibrate my leg. These two, of course, like, do you feel like you got touched? I'm like, no, I feel like something vibrated. I don't know what
I'm
it was.
just saying, you're the only one who had felt something the entire night.
Boydston's look.
I didn't get the vibrating recorder, so it wasn't the recorder that vibrated.
I didn't.
It took me a second to get what you meant. You didn't get that feature added onto the recorder?
I didn't.
You
I didn't
should
splurge
have.
for that.
So that was pretty much it. Just some spirit box responses, and then I felt like something vibrated on my leg. But I was holding my phone in my hand because I said that in the recording.
They, the people leading this investigation had brought a couple pretty cool things with them. One of them being a creepy AF music box that would go off when, what was it, one of the grid ones?
Yes, I remember that.
It was
Grid response
proximity.
or like a laser? Okay, yeah. So if something came
got
near
close, yep, it would play really creepy music
Yes.
box music.
it's like stuff of nightmares.
And they put that in the children's room at one point, right? Yeah.
And it went off when we were, the group was upstairs and nobody
Right.
was in the room. So it did go off a couple times.
We were like all in the hallway, yeah.
Yeah. And she made a pretty cool spirit box of her own.
Yeah, she modified an amp to essentially turn it into something kind of like a Phasma box.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I had a bunch of lights going off with it. It was
Mhm.
entertaining. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then, because I forgot, I also had a recording for the costume. The costume room is what they call
Oh,
it,
yeah,
where the
yeah.
mannequins were. Boydston talked about feeling tingling in there, and then you talked about feeling tingling in the basement when we had been there prior.
Huh.
But we'll talk about the basement as well.
And we didn't really spend any time in the third room up there. So
Because
Not
I think
much to add to
there was always somebody in there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you ready to move? We didn't spend a whole lot of time on the main level either, although the main level was beautiful.
It was beautiful. There were 2 people from the Historical Society that were
Bless
just
their
asleep
hearts.
in the little rocking chairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or they'd be talking throughout. So that was one of the main reasons we
Yes.
didn't investigate on the main level, because they were there, lights were on.
Yeah.
You're just not going to get much.
They had to stay there, so you could tell they were kind of over it, but
Yeah.
we appreciate them being there. Anyhow, so we went to the basement.
To the basement, which
Yay.
is a typical basement. It's unfinished concrete.
Yep.
Storage.
Storage. There was a lot of Christmas trees here too.
Yeah, that place is probably lit.
The first
during
thing I said. So, listen, the basement was the roughest part, I feel like, for us when we were there as a group. And we were down there for like an hour, and
It was a really long time.
we can talk about this later, but guess who got the hour-long audio to listen?
Oh, we're going to talk about that now. Yeah.
Lindsey
Lindsey did, and I treated it as my vlog because I
Yes,
was
you
just
do.
so over it. So
That's why you get those ones to listen to.
That's one of the first
yourself.
things I said. I said, "Look at all these trees. I bet this place is lit at Christmas." Laughing at my own pun.
Yes, you were.
Still laughing at
Yeah.
her own pun.
Nobody else
Listen,
can
it
even
was
hear you.
very clever, okay? And I was like, whoever's listening to this audio is going to laugh at this, and then it was me.
And you probably laughed.
I did. But I want you to laugh at it. Okay. So who wants to talk about, Boydston, you want to talk about why you hated us down here?
Yeah, tell
Okay.
us why.
Let me just fill you in on a little tip about me.
If you don't know already.
I've got crippling, severe social anxiety, like to the point where it's almost agoraphobic, but I am not that bad. But it stems back to my childhood, and anytime anybody calls on me, points out anything, draws attention to me, I want to just lay down and die. I want to be anywhere but there. I would be swimming through a pile of like rat shit. I don't care. I want to be anywhere.
I know. That's why you needed to describe this. Only you can explain it.
I mean, even right now, just thinking about it, my heart's pounding. Like, I feel really anxious. So we all go down there as a group, and the host has, I don't know, maybe 10 sets of dowsing rods. And she's like, hey, does anybody want to try these out? And I'm just standing there like, absolutely fucking not. Nope. And then she's like, anybody? So some people go up, and then Sarah goes, oh, she will, pointing at me. And I was like, here we go. And then Lindsey pipes in. She's like, yeah, she's our water witch. And I was like,
We were very tipsy.
I wanted to die.
So then the group leader goes, I feel like that's an inside joke I don't know about.
She's like, okay, whatever. Like, she was obviously annoyed.
Which, if you knew anything about dowsing rods,
Right?
you know that it's a water witch thing. So
It is.
So Boydston reluctantly takes the dowsing rod. She doesn't want
God,
to.
she
She doesn't need to because she has her own.
And then I just stand there with him pouting for a good hour. I was
Easily.
like,
I could feel the hate just
hate
radiating.
my life.
I went to
At
the
one
back
point-
corner of the room. I couldn't handle it.
At one point, I touched her arm for something, and she just was stiff as a board, and was like, "If you fucking touch me or look at," she didn't say that, but I could feel it with her body language, and I'm like, "Sorry, I'm sorry."
And we were like, at one point, I got so sick of this. I'm standing in the back corner away from them, and so I sent a text to our group text. Me and you were talking, and Boydston's ignoring us.
Probably holding the
We're
rods.
sending all these funny gifs and stuff about all the annoying things happening, and she's just ignoring us for an hour.
I was voluntold to
Okay.
be a water witch that night, and I had to stand there and participate. So here's what happened. A lot of people participated. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe six or seven people.
6 or 7, yeah.
Including the host.
Uh-huh.
And that's when the night just kind of went down.
And also, this was the very beginning of the night.
It was.
Let me just point out. So here's the thing. There was a wasp flying around, and people started semi freaking out. And I was in like, oh my God, it's a bee. It's a bee. And I was so angry, but I didn't want to speak up. And I was like, it's a fucking wasp, you idiots. And she's like, is anybody allergic to bee stings? I'm like, it's a wasp.
And on my vlog in the corner, I go, Like one girl said, no, but I don't like bee stings. And I went, nobody likes bee stings.
Nobody likes bee stings, Becky, okay?
Gosh, Becky.
Mimi, I love bee stings.
Oh, come, make it sting me. I love
That
it.
wasn't the question, Becky.
So then we had a dowsing rod session.
Yes, we sure did.
And they
Like
It got very
the longest
inappropriate.
dowsing rod in history.
45 minutes of dowsing rods. And they asked every question you could imagine that was inappropriate, which I know we've talked about, like when we went to Missouri State Penn, we got tired of stuff and asked weird questions too.
But not like that.
Not like
that.
offensive questions.
Yeah. It was kind of bizarre.
So here's just some topics that we'll hit on that they talked about. And we're not going to go into details because it's just inappropriate.
Yeah.
They talked about...
time out. Let me add. So the female... We haven't talked about this, but earlier in the night, we got like a female spirit box response from a Sylvia.
Yes.
So throughout the recording, we're talking to Sylvia.
Yes.
So that's where this started. We don't know who Sylvia is, but they kept talking to Sylvia.
We don't know anything about Sylvia, but they insinuated in their questioning things like incest, abortion, murder,
rape.
Yeah. So just things like that. And I'm still pissed, and I'm standing here like, this is the worst night of my life. And then they're over there making, funny gifts, but also I'm sure you guys were
because at that point I was
thrilled.
just over it. They also talked about torture, and child torture.
Let me just point
Child
out, like
murder?
they're not making jokes of it. They're not laughing. They're not having a good time.
No.
We giggle a lot through our podcast. We obviously understand that these are very serious issues, which is why it was so irritating. But they weren't joking about it. But it just didn't feel.
It felt very
It
intrusive.
felt real icky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you would not go up to someone in real life and be like, have you ever had an abortion? Did your father make you have an abortion?
Did your father rape you? Just things like those.
Like, you wouldn't ask that question to anyone. Why would you ask that to...
Yeah, what makes you think that somebody's
Anything.
going to respond to you about that?
It's very triggering topics, too.
Sure. Yeah.
Considering, we were in a group of like 20 people.
Mm-hmm. Mostly females.
Yes, so I felt uncomfortable. I think we all did, which is why I was standing way in the back, like back by the corner, because I was just like, I can't. The furnace kept going off, and that kind of drowned them out for a little bit for me, which was good.
It probably would have been better, let me put it like this, if they would have done that on their own time.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Gone down there, but in a big group, it felt kind of weird.
It also felt like they were monopolizing it. Conversation the entire time where
Nobody else
could ask any questions.
Yeah.
Including the group leader.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of one of the things that happens when you go in a bigger group. Sometimes it's not a problem. But yeah, sometimes it's like this where it's a little bit more of a challenge. And you're just like, okay.
And
I'm ready to move on.
They also thought every noise that they heard was something. So at one point they were like, I hear water. And I'm like, that's because somebody just flushed the toilet.
Yeah.
That's the pipes going. And I even said that in my recording. I was like, the toilet's just flushed. That's the pipes running. Because I was over there by them.
Yeah.
Or somebody was like, I hear something over here in this corner, which is where I was standing. And I was like, it's me.
I'm walking.
And they're like, I hear boxes moving around and shuffling. And like we said, the historical member societies, they were upstairs the entire time. I'm like, anytime they moved, you could hear them moving.
Right.
I'm like, guys, like, let's not jump to this is a ghost every single time, which is what annoys me with the hardcores.
But that being said, even with all of that background, somehow we were magically able to capture an EVP.
We did get an EVP, and I was shocked listening to it. So they ask a question, something about, are you standing here between us?
Right.
And you get a response almost immediately. And I didn't hear it live. I don't think you guys heard it live either.
I didn't.
We talked about it. But the people who had asked the question were like, I just heard no.
Yeah.
Like, they all report hearing
it
it live.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in the time thinking like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
But
they did.
We did catch an EVP.
Yeah.
Of someone saying no. Okay, so shortly before that, like I said, they were talking to Sylvia. And that's just the name that got spit out by the spirit box, so we just ran with it. So shortly before they got that EVP, they reported feeling a change, like Sylvia was no longer there, but that it was something heavier or darker.
Remember, this is where the Dementor is thought to be.
Yes, the hooded figure, yes. So they all reported hearing something heavier or darker. Like one person said that, and then like several others were like, yeah, I feel that too. I felt no change. I don't know if you guys did.
Oh, well, I didn't.
Yeah.
Not in my little corner.
I wasn't currently open at the time.
I wasn't either.
Shortly after that, there was a high-pitched whistling noise, and the group leader said that no equipment was making that noise. She was like, I don't have anything set off that would be doing that.
Yeah.
And you can hear that in the recording.
I was getting repeated noise. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I was getting repeated noise. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I was getting repeated noise. Did you hear that?
Yes.
At one point, I heard another voice, and it sounds like a deep guy's voice. I don't know if that was someone who was in the room with us, because like I said, there was a group of about 15 to 20 of us. Some were men.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if it was one of them. I don't know if it's an EVP. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because it's just like,
Yeah.
no, is all you hear.
Standing in between us. Did you hear that?
So there's that too. And then the rest is just me live vlogging and answering the questions they're asking to the ghosts, answering them myself.
We went back down another time with just the three of us and were able to spend some time down there, which is the recording that I had. I didn't
Lucky.
hear, except for I didn't hear anything because literally 5 minutes after we got down there, the furnace turned
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's loud.
And then we could hear people upstairs talking very loudly.
Yeah.
And so you can hear that the whole time on there. And I think we were just kind of frustrated with it at trying to hear anything at that point.
Yeah.
But I will say, when you're down there by yourself with all the lights out,
It's
it does
creepy.
give a generally creepy vibe.
For sure.
It is creepy.
For sure.
And you said you felt some tingling while you were down there.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember that, but sounds
Okay.
right.
I didn't know if that was when we were down there by ourselves or in the group.
So I think that pretty much wraps up our haunted investigation there, right? At Dillingham Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. So,
Yeah.
I mean, in the basement, we caught the most evidence, which was surprising,
Yeah.
given the atmosphere that we were in.
Well, we caught the EVP, but then we got
Yeah.
a lot of good flashlight and spirit box over in the hotel section.
We did. The hotel was very cool. Just like the atmosphere there, I feel like,
Yeah.
and just the history there. It's very cool. So,
For sure.
I
So
enjoyed it.
is it haunted? Maybe. Boydston?
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say before I move on. I think that if there are spirits there, they're very transient. They just come and go. I don't think anything lives there permanently, is my personal opinion. Of course, that could be true about most places, but I don't get the feeling that place is like overwhelmingly filled with spirits.
Yeah,
there.
no, that's a good way to put it. I was, after the night, I was leaning towards, I don't really think so, but after hearing some of our evidence, I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but it's nothing crazy.
No, and it's not negative, really. I don't
Right.
think in any way.
It's a great place to go. Like, if you get a chance, definitely go there.
For sure.
And we'd love to know if you guys get anything else.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for tuning in this week, guys, to hear our haunted investigation. You can always go to www.thetipsyghost.com to find all of our socials and send us an email at thetipsyghost@gmail.com. Or if you even have ideas of like places that we can go to investigate, let us know.
We're always up for adventures.
Send us emails.
Yeah, our 2020 calendar is filling up. No, 2021 calendar is
No, get the
filling
fuck
up
out of here,
quick.
2020.
Bye, 2020.
We're over you.
And please, if you can, give us a 5-star rating and a great review on Apple Podcasts. It really, really helps.
Sure does.
All right. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. We will catch you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.